this is Nayalla. Thank you so much for joining me again today. So today what I would like to do is share with you what I've learned about healthy self-importance, because we hear so often, well definitely I have in my life, about people saying certain things about others that are full of themselves. You hear, look at him, look at her, they're so full of themselves, and it's really got this negative connotation to it. It's got that negative energy to it, as they say it. Now the thing is, there is an unhealthy self-importance, and there is also a healthy self-importance. So the unhealthy self-importance is really where you're coming from a place of ego, and where you're very much driven by material things. So those people might have been looked down on or judged on a little bit because they were really highlighting not necessarily the type of person they were, not necessarily things coming from their heart, but perhaps because they were wearing the latest brand of trainers or whatever it is. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it is coming from a very superficial place. They're really, walking with that strut and with their chest out because they've got this material thing, because they've gained in a material way, but there's nothing actually going on underneath that. There's a lot going on a superficial level, but if you strip all that back, then very likely that same person would not actually be full of healthy self-importance. They're really, going in a certain direction, trying to overcompensate for something that they don't actually have inside of themselves. And you'll see that a lot in society. We've got a lot of addictions going on in society right now. We've got the drugs, the alcohol, sexual addictions, and even social media and such, like food and things like that. And it's really trying to fill ourselves up with things that are not going to actually substantially fill ourselves up. So we're not full of self-importance, and we're really grabbing at things and taking things, trying to make ourselves feel better. But when we are actually grabbing certain things, we're ending up feeling a lot worse, and we are caught in a loop. So when we actually understand about filling ourselves up with healthy self-importance, we are less likely to grab at these things and become addicted to these more superficial things, and actually start filling ourselves up with substantial things. So what do we mean by the substantial things? Well, this is really to do with our confidence and our self-esteem and where we fit in the world. Because I know definitely for me on my journey, and somebody who was coming from an unempowered place, an unempowered empath place, I was tending to always put myself to the back of the queue, and also let other people really fill me up with their ideas, with what they felt was right for me, and not allowing me really just to come to the fore and speak up for myself and really show a lot more of myself, because I was not full of self-importance at all. I was empty of that completely. And I know in the spiritual sense, it's very important that we do empty ourselves and become very expansive and at one with everything. But this is still coming from a place of understanding that your life force energy is important. So this is really, I feel, for all of us to really celebrate our life and to really claim our space and really own our space. Once we do that, then we do recognize that we are important, that we do deserve to be here, that our life is just as important as anybody else's, and then we do celebrate it, and we are more likely to make healthier choices. So when we celebrate our life, when we acknowledge how important our life is, we make better choices for ourselves. So we will put healthier things into our body. We will take care of our body in a better way. We will be more conscious about what we are exposing ourselves to, and we are less likely to be, going for the things that are, maybe making us feel good for a little while, but then getting us stuck in a loop. We will more likely pick things that are going to be of a long-term gain for us. So like we said, maybe changing what we are consuming, so our diet and what we are exposing ourselves to. So maybe reading materials, what we are watching, the type of people that we are following on social media. All these things will really shift and change once we fill ourselves up with healthy self-importance. The ego is the one that will do the short-term game. The ego is the one that will most likely put you in the direction of alcohol, of drugs, of anything that is going to make you feel better on the short term. Whereas coming from a more pure place, if you are connecting with your heart and your true life force energy, and you are full of healthy self-importance, then you are more likely to pick things that are going to make you feel better in the long term. So you might want to watch something on Netflix with a big bag of chips, but you might weigh up the pros and cons. Okay, that's going to make me feel good for maybe 30 minutes, but if I maybe go for a walk or a run or a swim, that's going to make me feel better for the long term. It's going to trigger those endorphins, it's going to release that serotonin, and it's going to make me feel a lot better than maybe, yeah, I enjoyed that film, yeah, those bag of chips were really good, but is the guilt then going to creep in? Or it's weighing up the pros and cons, and it's being a lot more conscious. And even if you do choose the Netflix film and the bag of chips, it is because you know that you're not going to have any guilt about it. You know that it is going to actually make you feel better for the long term, and there's not this downward spiral coming from it. And maybe you'll decide to go for a longer walk the next day, or you will really weigh up and make it balanced in the long term. So when we are full of self-importance, we're also going to make better choices for us in the long term as well. We're going to put ourselves in better situations. We're going to put ourselves into better relationships. We are going to take better care of ourselves, and we're also going to form better relationships with others as well. So it is very important we do understand the difference between ego, self-importance, where we are really going for a sort of hierarchy here. The ego wants you to be better than everybody else. The ego wants you to really push forward and step all over everybody and just think me. Whereas healthy self-importance is understanding that, yes, you do need to care about yourself. Yes, you do need to put your needs ahead of others, but you also need to understand how that is going to affect others as well. You also need to understand the consequences of your actions, how it's going to affect others. Whereas if you're very ego driven, then you may not necessarily be thinking of others. It, like I said, it will be that me, grab, take. Whereas the healthy self-importance will be coming from a more balanced place, and that is really what it is all about. And also, when you are not full of healthy self-importance, like we said before, if you are very empathic and you are taking yourself out, you know, really putting yourself to the back of the queue, you are very susceptible to manipulation, and you are very susceptible, like we said, to really taking on energies that are not yours and being influenced that way as well. So by filling yourself up with that life force energy, by taking better care of yourself, by really celebrating your life, then you are going to make much better choices for yourself in the long run, and also make much better choices for others around you, for your community, for the world at large, for the environment, you know, because you can understand life in a much deeper sense. You're going to, you know, maybe not do anything that is going to be detrimental to others, because you understand that you wouldn't like that done to yourself. Or, you know, you see all the time these people maybe not being so nice to animals or plants or such, or even other people, and it's because they've really lost touch with how important life is. They've really lost touch with the celebration of life. If they were more full of healthy self-importance, then I guarantee that they would not be making those same choices. They would not be harming those animals. They would not be harming the environment in the same way. And that's really what I've been talking about a lot in my other videos, especially Earth Talk videos, is that we've got this disconnect with Earth. We've got this disconnect with our home, and because of that, it's really knocking everything out of balance. So the more people that do connect with the importance of life, of how amazing their own life is, and really celebrating life, we will see, you know, so many amazing transformations, not only in their own life, but also the way that they are treating other life forms on this planet as well. So I hope that has helped you in some way. I'm sending you so much love, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Goodbye for now.